Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 56 of the Talking with the Dad podcast. This evening, Steve, tell me the sponsors, buddy.
There are no sponsors. No one's watching. No one's listening. No one cares about us. Actually, we're being sponsored tonight by the one and only Donald Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for reaching out.
Steve didn't like the intro to the show, so he wants me to restart it.
Oh, Zach.
What's up, buddy?
It's crazy time in America, man. We got all the technology at the tip of our fingers, man. I was thinking about this the other day as I poured out half my drink that some poor person probably would have really enjoyed. And I was like, man, I can order food. I can order anything within a day. Get almost anything I want. There's nothing that's restricted to me. I turn on my TV. I got suggestions for shows, movies, and things I could possibly buy all in one shot.
Okay.
It's a brave new world, Zach.
Is it?
Brave new world, Zach. But here's the one thing I want to know.
Why do you keep saying Brave New World like that?
Brave new world, Zach.
It's an expansion to Civilization 5. I don't know why like you keep saying it like so specifically.
It's also a book too, but it's a brave new world, Zach. Here's the thing, right? All these things, all this technology. I want to know why the DoorDash guys always manage to bring the wrong food to the school.
I've only had that happen like twice.
I've gotten so much free food from wrong drop-offs at the school. I might as well just hang out in front and just wait from the drop. They're like, this is for George. And I'm like, is that Wendy's? Yeah. I'm George.
I feel like you're just grabbing other people's food. That's why you keep getting wrong food.
I didn't say it was the wrong food for me. I said the wrong food had been brought to the wrong point. Yeah. It's all free food is right for me. Do you remember when you thought you were going to be able to slow up my free food game?
I did for a while.
You couldn't stop.
I did for a while. I was on a full campaign for not giving Steve food. It worked for like 3 weeks. And then I gave you an egg roll, and it all went crumbling down. All crumbling downhill since then, huh? Steve is just out here fucking stealing food from children and morons.
Swindling people out of food.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, on a less lighter, not funny at all note, man. We are truly blessed, man. Have you seen any of the footage of the food lines, like for food banks and stuff like that?
No.
It's getting pretty funky out there, man.
I'm sure. Next we're gonna start storming grocery stores. I'm gonna be number 2. Get there, get my donuts, get my cases of water, but not the bad water. You know, not like not the store brand water. I'm gonna be in there getting the good stuff early.
The Dasani, stuff.
Yeah.
$26 for 4 bottles.
Right, with the fancy bottles, and then I'm gonna knock some smart water in there. Absolutely. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm getting all the fresh fruit before it goes bad.
Yeah, but the issue with the fresh fruit is it has such a short shelf life. You know, really what we gotta go for is the fresh cans of beans.
No. That's a good idea too. I'm getting the fresh fruit to lure the vegans in so I can eat them.
No, you just gotta get kale and avocados for that. Not even the fresh fruit. Leave the apples for other people, at least. You're like, I want all the avocados and the kale. They're like, I don't know what this guy's doing, but has really bad smoothies at his house.
Sprinkling on the grass there. What's gonna happen next? Oh, you'll see. Bunch of skinny, gauntly looking people walking through my bushes and stuff. Well dressed though, very well dressed. They look
You're
good.
like, I got a new wardrobe and some food.
Yeah, someone drove through Port the other day and they reminded me of something I had forgotten. Is that summertime in Port, even with this pandemic, but you know, those people getting off the train is amazing. Like it's like hipster. Yeah, have you seen it before? Have you ever gone there by that train station on a Friday?
I try not to hang out by the train station. I've lived in the town my entire life, but
yeah, there's some weird people that hang out there too. But the people coming in to Port from the city and they're just coming up to Summer for the weekend, they smell horrible, they look horrible, but they all got money. So as long as they keep investing in it.
I like tourism. Tourism's always good for towns, especially when there's a huge base that lives there already, and you just get some influx on top. That's always good.
Unless it's the Hells Angels or the Mongols coming into your town.
Well, I mean, whatever. There's nothing here for them to do. That bench that's down there under the awning at the train station down there, we used to grind that with bikes all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Losers. There's a free book kiosk over there too.
Is there?
Yeah.
No one here reads.
I I steal all the free books and replace it with Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated and Car and Driver. Car and Driver is one of my favorite magazines. I loved it.
Yeah, I've stolen it out of all of the free tire shops and everyone. I always steal their stuff.
Yeah.
Have you been reading that for a while?
Car and Driver?
Yeah.
I had a subscription for years. My dad always kept a Car and Driver subscription for me for like, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. So I read it for a long time, yeah.
Oh, wow. Like you actually read the articles and stuff?
Yeah. I was super into cars, man.
I tried to get into cars when I was a kid. I was like, nah, never mind. I live
You grew up in the city. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up in the right area.
It's pointless. I know a lot of guys from the city who are deeply into cars, but
yeah, but those are the guys with money. If you live in the city and you're into cars,
poor people. I know poor people that love cars. I'm like, that's like a person dying of thirst looking at water.
Right, exactly.
Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
If you're big into the car culture in the city, then usually you have money.
Did you ever go into no, that's not true. That's an unfair assertion. Where are you pulling that from?
All of the big car shows I've ever been to in the city.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, there are other people there. I don't know if they started gating off the poor people when you started going or something like don't make eye contact with those folks over there. They have bad credit scores. We just let them in for the numbers. When's the last car show you've been to?
I don't know. It was 4 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I went to one around that time in LA. It's pretty good.
But did you go to the LA Auto Show though?
Yeah,
that's different. That's not like that's
vendors and stuff.
Yeah, an auto show and a car show I think are two different things. Even the one in the city in the Javits Center, the New York Auto Show is not like a car show. Car show is when you show up and people are parked along the street and there's like, like that kind of stuff.
There's a place in California called Pacoima at Ritchie Valley Park, I believe it is, and I've been to a bunch of car shows over there. Now that got to get out of there before the street lights come on, but still a good time.
There was one up on I forget what it's called. They call it like Ben's, I think, but it's like Malibu Kitchen. It's up on whatever that fucking road up there is. There's a lot of people that hang up out there. And then Neptune's Catch, I believe, is the restaurant from Fast and Furious.
Yeah. I hate Fast and Furious. I mean, I love that franchise. I hope they make another one. I'm really like on the edge of my seat.
The first 3 were good. The first 3 were really good.
The last 12 were amazing.
If you like boring action movies, I guess.
Where are they in space now?
They might be going to space in this next one. We're onshore of the plot. Actually, we've been onshore of the plot for the last 5, and we've watched them.
Well, who knows if they're going to get released in the theater? Universal has they're out.
Where does Universal go for their releases? Hulu? I don't know.
What do you know? Well, so
Netflix. They sign with Netflix. They sign with Hulu.
I think they go all over the place, but they, video on demand. I'm not sure if they have a service or a contract with just one specific serving point, but I do know that they're not going to be back in the theaters unless they get that whole thing squashed. But who's going to movies anymore? That's a thing of the past. I'm certainly not going.
You want to go so bad.
I do. I want to go see Black Widow in the theaters, but I'm not going to. Huh?
I don't even know what Black Widow is. I don't want to know.
You do. You need to know.
I mean, I don't need to know shit. Let's be fair. I don't need to know anything, especially when it's about some fucking comic book shit.
See, there you go. Being a willful ignorant. What the hell are we talking about, man? Zach, what the hell's been going on in your week, man? We just went on a dark tirade. That was actually pretty good. I like the black shirt, man. You look like a supervillain over there.
That's my goal. Generally, I dress up in the morning and I'm like, all right, well, I want supervillain today.
You're gonna bust out the turtleneck one day when you come on.
I don't like turtlenecks. No, can't do it.
I feel like I'm being strangled slowly when I put a turtleneck on.
Yeah, there's that. I also really generally don't like long sleeves. So
yeah. You had a flannel on the other day, man. That's a long sleeve.
I roll them up.
That is not the way you wear a flannel.
It is when you're fucking when you hate long sleeves.
Unless you're cutting wood, you don't get to wear your sleeves that way with a flannel.
I mean, like even like with hoodies, or I show up to work, my fucking hoodies are always pulled up to my elbows. I don't like long sleeves. I don't know. Never have.
You know what's weird is when I see someone in a flannel and shorts, I'm like, what's going on here?
That's me all the
time. Like in the outside world.
Yeah.
It's cold enough for
do that.
Cold enough for pants, man.
Dude, it's like have you ever been to Florida and like like right now, like early September to like October, where it's hoodies and shorts.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually all. That's like from
That's
fucking
all
September.
California.
Yeah, no. When I was in California in February, they were in like jackets and like jeans, and I'm like, what is wrong with you fucking people? I'm walking around in a t-shirt and shorts. They had heaters on, and I'm like, it's 70 degrees. You guys have heaters on. What do you mean?
Dude, you know it's crazy. The longer you stay there, your body starts to change to meet that. Like, so when you first get there, you're like, as a New Yorker, you're like, you know nothing of winters.
Exactly.
Just like people from the Midwest tell us, they're like, you know nothing of winters. Yeah. But after a while, I noticed after the second year, September started feeling a little, weird in California.
I did notice that it's because like here it's always super humid no matter what time of year it is. Even there, it was like not humid whatsoever. So like 65 felt colder to me.
Yeah. And also, once you get that nice desert heat going, like there's nothing like a good 115 degree.
That's what
day.
It was recently there, right? Wasn't it like 115, 120, something like that?
It just, like, hey, babe, I'm just going to go out and get some coffee. Maybe I'll walk. And you can step outside like, this is a bad idea. I'm not walking anymore.
I couldn't do
it. Fire the car. Get the air conditioner going.
That's crazy, man. That's actually crazy. Like, it gets hot here, but like 100 here, but it's so humid. It gets disgusting.
One of the last times I smoked weed in New York City, that is, it was bad combination. Summertime, West 4th, extremely hot on the upper part of the world. So by the time you got down to the train station, it's definitely like 105 down there. All the lovely aromas. And I had smoked the biggest blunt with my homeboys, and I was just, I couldn't deal, man. Like I didn't freak out or like run away, but it was clear in my eyes that I was a man struggling, waiting for the train to come. Like I'm just putting on my best normal face, and then when I looked over and there's a homeless guy staring at me, I'm like, too much. And I just walked out the train station. I was like, I'm gonna walk uptown.
Holy shit, dude! That's amazing. That's amazing, man.
Could not do it. That was possibly one of the worst nights of my life. Like walking through Times Square, and I'm not talking about this new friendly Times Square.
Yeah, back when it was fun.
yeah, that was terrifying. Well, at any rate, man, I don't want to regale you people with my oldness. We got some good topics here tonight, Zach.
Do we?
Yeah, I think so, man. We're talking about how to make the best muffins, how to satisfy your man. No, real stuff that people are interested in.
Yeah, it's just us girls tonight, huh? You say make the best muffins?
Huh?
You said make the best muffins? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I can't bake, man. I could cook. I can't bake. I don't know.
I can't do either of those things. Nobody's going to eat any muffin that I make. If I hand it to him, it's going to look like a threat of some sort.
You're like I made it in the microwave.
I made it of cement and brown sugar. It tastes good, though. So tell me about this Tarkov tournament, man. When you sent it to me, I was like, where's he watching it and what's going on? But because you didn't send me a link or anything.
It was over by the time I texted you, and it was I mean it was a 3-hour tournament from 3 to 6 on yesterday, on Sunday. Most kills on factory from a fresh account. And it was interesting to watch. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Pastilli was hosting it, and he was doing like commentary, going back and forth, watching the people. It was fun. It was 100 contestants. It was very good. It was very good. Honestly, I think it was the best format that they've had so far in a Tarkov tournament. This is probably number 3 or 4 that has happened so far.
How are people playing? More aggressive, more cautious? Give it to me, man.
You got to be aggressive, right? So it's 3 hours to get as many kills as possible. So your goal is to get in as many raids as possible, right? If you could go in 70 times over 3 hours, then you're most likely going to be in more engagements than the guy who goes in 50 times, right? Okay. So you got to put yourself in a lot of engagements, a lot of really, really quick engagements, and get in and get out. And one of the troubles with playing from a fresh account is that at level 10, you hit the flea market, but you're at level 1. So you're limited to what you could buy through what the traders have, right? There's nothing good at level 1 that you could purchase to like be competitive. And they had announced this so far in advance. People were gearing up and being ready for all the streamers going in to play in these tournaments, so that people were going in with like legit gear, like million dollar kits to go in to fuck up these streamers. It was pretty interesting.
How did that part go?
It depends on which streamer they went up against. Like Landmark, who won the tournament with 59 kills, like one shot a kid immediately who had the best helmet and the best armor on. And I'm like, I'm watching, I'm like, wait a second, that armor shouldn't, like, that bullet shouldn't pen that helmet. And he's like, well, actually, see, I got down and into this angle and I shot in under the face shield and hit him in the head. And I'm like, you what? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. 100 people doing it.
Landmark is that one dude that you showed me. You sent me the videos of.
He's insane. He's the best
like
player.
5 hackers or
Yeah. He's the best player in the game. But he only won by 1 kill.
Right? Oh, really? Who came in second?
Some guy that I don't even know. Axel TV, I guess his name is. Came in with 58 kills, and there was a guy in 3rd place with 57, and 4th was like 55. Right? So Factory is a limited amount of players that you could kill in one raid. I think it's 5 or 4 even when you're loading in. So it's 5 players total. And you know, if you're at 55 and Landmark's at 59, you're within 1 raid, right? If you go in and get a lucky spawn and get all 3 or 4 people in front of you and you kill everybody, like you get lucky and catch right up. So yeah, it's fascinating.
Quick question. So how was the tournament put together? Because I haven't played Tarkov before. So you're going into raids, but this is all separate. So they're just tabulating what people are playing in their own individual games as they're going into raids, or how?
So they gave them fresh accounts. Right.
Okay.
So the idea with the fresh account is that at the end of the tournament, there was after the time limit was up, right? The guy who came in second actually should have tied for first, but he loaded into a raid too late. So his last kill was disqualified. So yeah, at the end of it, you could just like click on your stats and it'll tell you how many kills you had. So they each person had one of their mods in the chat with them. That was like every time they get a kill, like, all right, 1 more kill. All right, I got 2 kills there. Okay, yeah, all right, I wiped the entire map. There's 4 more kills. So they were tallying it there and using the in-game stats.
Oh, nice, man. How does Pastilli do? Did he play or
he was hosting it? It was his tournament. He put it together, so he didn't play. I think Pastilli would have done really, really well. He usually has good strategies for this stuff coming in.
What was the prize?
There was no prize. There was no prize for this tournament. It was the first time Pastilli's ever done anything like this, he said. So he said that he wanted to, see what the interest was, see how well Battlestate Games would support him for the next one, and then try to do prizes for the next one.
Okay, nice, man. Oh, wait, who's the developer? Say that name again.
Battlestate Games.
Are they really Russians, or is that just a play?
No, they're legitimately fucking Russians. Yeah. Yep.
They'll never be installed on my computer.
It's a great game. Wow. Minus all the flaws and the shit state that it's in right now.
You were complaining about this the other day. There's something about the wipe, and it just isn't. Explain to me one more time.
What's wrong with the game right now?
Yeah,
there's a lot of hackers. I played 4 raids the other day and got killed 2 raids by hackers, just by people like zooming around the map, fucking at 8 times the speed that anyone possibly could run, and then just pop in and just fucking kill you immediately. They added explosives to the games that just don't make sense for the game. The grenade launcher is really, really kind of stupid. And then they accidentally buffed it immediately after they released it and then haven't made a change since. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a set schedule for when wipes happen, I think. So for when everyone's reset is when a wipe is when everyone gets put back down to level 1. No money, level 1 traders, like basically everyone's starting from fresh again. Like that first month that the game is out, or after a wipe, is like the best time because everyone, there's like incentive to PvP, right? Because you want, not only do I need money and I need to do my quest, but I also want your gear, so I don't have to buy gear for next raid. And it was like 3 weeks. This wipe was like 3 weeks long, where that fun was happening, and then people had the best stuff in the game, and it kind of ruined it. And the wipe is what happened 4 months ago now.
Okay.
So like you try to go in now, and it's like this would be the worst time to buy the game ever, potentially. Because you go in and like you run into everyone using the best ammo. Armor doesn't even matter anymore. The ammo is so good right now. They buffed some of the ammos, so it doesn't even make sense to wear armor or a helmet anymore because you're just gonna die anyway.
Especially if you got hackers running around. This is something I don't understand, man. I guess in a trolley type of way, it's like, hey, let's go in and shit on some people today, but it just doesn't seem like it's like, how much fun could it possibly be? You have to be a real sadist.
What the hackers do, and I hate even saying it, is that they sell their services. They'll buy the hacks and then advertise somewhere like, hey, are you a person who doesn't have this amount of time to play the game? Yeah, just $50. We'll bring you into 2 lab raids and you'll have 100 million rubles afterwards and never have to worry about money again.
Ugh.
That's what they're doing. They're selling playthroughs essentially. It's so shitty. It's so shitty. And they're leaking. They used to be just exclusively on labs. So you didn't. If I didn't want to run labs, I didn't run labs, right? I didn't want to pay the 300,000 rubles to get in anyway. So I was running Shoreline, where I'm fairly confident on, and I know the spots and I know the loot spots where I can make a lot of money, and that's where I'm getting killed by hackers now because no one's playing labs right now.
I just want to fight these people in the streets legally.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I wish Battlestate was better at banning them. Really is what I wanted. Like to me, it seems fairly easy, right? So when you level your strength all the way up, you run faster, if that makes sense. So if anything is 5% above the fastest run speed at max strength, I think you should automatically get booted and banned, right? I feel like that's the way to fix it.
Yeah, but you just ban them and they just create a new account. Oh wait, no, I guess
you have to buy account. You have to buy an account.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I don't know how much the base game costs, but it's it's like $40 an account.
Yeah, I've always wondered that.
I'm looking it up right now. The base game is not the one that you want, but I guess if you're hacking, I guess I don't know. It doesn't matter, right? What the best thing that you want is, right?
Whoa. Oh, that's not bad.
Where did you find it? I can't even find it. Oh, pre-order right here.
Purchases starting price of $44.99, and then it goes up
base game.
Yeah, $139.99 to buy the Edge of Darkness limited edition if you so choose.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Rich people, man, I tell you. You get
I play a lot of this game, so I mean it makes sense for me to have it, right? Like you get bigger stash space. Like there's a lot of stuff that you get that is beneficial for having it.
Yeah, don't buy the broke economy version of a game like I do.
But no, literally there are benefits to having the Edge of Darkness if you play the game a lot, right? Where you keep your items is called your stash. Like it's like double the size of the base game, right? So if I were playing just on a standard account, like it's not very much loot that you could bring back in, and I tend to fucking loot goblin things. So
loot goblin, it's out there running around causing havoc. You know what, man? I've officially made up my mind. This game would not be fun for me. Like it requires the margin of error is too low. You know,
very low.
I can't be.
Here's the issue though: is I feel like because of that, you would get addicted to the game, right? I feel like you're not the kind of person who likes to just lay down and get beat. And then you get beat a few times, and then it's like, okay, well, now I know where that guy's going to sit again. And now I know that I have to, jiggle peek doors, or I have to, like, aim my cursor in a certain spot. And then that level of trying to progress as a player and through the game is super addicting.
Jiggle peek doors, man. I tell you, I've learned some of the best terms since I started hanging out. I'm gonna say that the next time I go to a restaurant. Like I was just jiggle peeking the door.
But you've seen me do that. Where like you A and D, right? So that's your strafe on a keyboard, where you just go through a door super quick. You're doing this motion, right? And like looking through the door, so you give them the least amount of time and the least opportunity to hit you.
Oh man,
knowledge is key in the game, my friend. Knowledge is key.
Knowledge is key, man. Well, here's the thing about knowledge, right? You can know a bunch of things, right? Sure. But it just doesn't translate into the physical accomplishment, like the ability to do things. Like some of the best trainers know some of the greatest things about boxing and MMA.
But
when we go back and look, we go back and look at the highlight reel, like, damn, you almost got killed.
Yeah, I feel like gaming though is like, I feel like if you put in enough time, like it's muscle memory at some point, Oh
no, absolutely. I think the best my aim has ever been was when we were just running around playing CS:GO for like those few nights, and then when I started playing other stuff, I was like, well, you can do it in CS:GO, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like CS is one of the games that really translates to other games for sure. There's not really a game that universally translates like that, in my opinion. Maybe Rainbow, but Rainbow is like you're so far behind in the life cycle of what Rainbow is now. Like it's not fun. So
I dip in there every once in a while just to catch a quick game. The funny thing is, I tried to play it at the school. I'll talk to you about that. And I couldn't get into a quick match, but I got in the other day and got into a quick game and was doing fairly good. Until I ran past the door and got shot in the head. And I was just like, how did that even?
Well, you gotta learn to peek that door now. You know.
I'm like, I knew it was going too well. The guy came up the stairs. I was like, oh, saw you. And I was like, I'm gonna play a little bit more aggressive. I'm not gonna stay there with the bomb. I'm gonna go out and pursue people. And those are
it's a game that it's a game that doesn't promote movement very often. So it's a mistake, definitely a mistake to run around in Rainbow, dude. That's why I can't stand it. That's why I don't like it.
I'm pretty sure that when I killed those 3 people on that team, that they're like, what the? Someone tell the new guy to get back in the spot.
That's funny.
At any rate, man. Yeah, and you take me into number 2, man, because I can't talk about it anymore. Not that I can't talk about it anymore. I'm not going to be able to articulate in an intelligent way the way you do these type of things because you're not invested in it like I am. So just you take it away. Just take it away.
Okay, so I guess we're doing the topics in order this evening. And what else is in order is some console prices that we haven't gotten yet, right? I think we're all due how much these things are going to cost, right? We're 3 months out from the supposed launch. And we still have not gotten a single price on any of the consoles coming out. What versions are coming out? When we can get it? Like, we know when, I guess, right? In like the holiday, but we don't know a price yet, and that's very, very concerning.
I don't know if this is true or not. I'm not even sure where I heard it from, but apparently the pre-orders for the PS5 are invite.
That doesn't make sense. Why would they be invite only? That doesn't make sense.
You know what? The only reason I even gave it a little credence is because I remember when OnePlus first came out, and I was like, for a flagship killer phone, they're definitely making a big to-do about this, but you needed an invite to even pre-order a OnePlus. And I was like, maybe there's something there. Yeah, you needed it. Isn't that crazy? And people did it. And they did it. They did it, and they pulled it off. I was like, I can't believe that this happened. They actually overshadowed the this is going to be really funny. BlackBerry tried to rebrand themselves at the same time. And they were like, we're going to
touch screens and stuff.
Yeah. But boop, that went horribly. But we don't know. It did. It went really bad. I don't know anything about the prices. Everyone keeps speculating.
No one does.
All speculation from $4.99 to $7.99.
Yep.
They're thinking that the digital only versions are going to be the $4.99 ones, and that the obviously the ones with the disc
$7.99.
$7.99.
It's a fair assessment, I would think. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't do as much research on them as I used to. I guess maybe I should. Maybe I could ping some sources or something and see what I can get into. But
you'd be wasting your time.
Yeah, I guess at this point I would be. I have no idea.
The funny part is, like, as you go deeper and deeper into the rumor mill about it, it just goes full circle, right? So if you go through my timeline on YouTube, if you just look at stuff and it's like exclusive information on the PlayStation, watch the 20-minute video.
No, it's not worth my time.
After the 15-minute intro of the guy saying the things that you normally say that they say, and they almost always say the same thing. Hey, been away from her a little while. Just had to take a break.
School's going good, and well, my mom hasn't kicked me out yet, and yeah, I don't care about your life, dude.
We're officially at this point where they're just going over the specs. Everyone's just going over and over again. And it's it's crazy about this too, man, because Nvidia just had their big launch, and we got we just got something almost tangible, and it completely overshadows, as it should, the console situation, because this is what happens when the marketing's stretched out. You can either just be very transparent with your consumers and say, hey, this is the release date, these are the prices, this is how we're going to do pre-ordering, and that will generate just as much buzz in my mind, because now people have something tangible to hold on to, and they're like, okay, so this is what I'm going to be able to do. I can start saving for my kid to get this. That's what the real market is. Parents who are spending money that they don't have for kids who don't care about this thing. Well, no, they care, obviously, but you're depriving us of the opportunity to start doing that. Now, if you live in a certain tax bracket, doesn't matter when it comes out, you're just going to buy it, even if you have to pay a little extra to get it. But for the general consumer, people got to start saving to get these things. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Gavin's not getting one. He's probably getting one. I don't know. Gavin, he's going to get one. He's going to get a computer. He's going to get a gaming chair. He's going to get everything. Everything that any 6-year-old could want. But I'm not happy about it. I'm happy about him getting the stuff he wants. I'm not happy about Sony getting the money. That's what I'm not happy about.
You were all over the place at the end there. So I saw a graphic not too long ago. The fact that how far in advance they released the price for the consoles previously, and we are now the closest to a release date that the price has ever been announced. Previously, it was like 4 and 5 months in advance. So, yeah,
it doesn't make sense. And they're both doing it. I could see if it was just Sony, who I would think would be the culprit.
They're weighting each other. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to outweight each other and then go, oh man, PlayStation's $499. We're gonna be fucking $498. Fuck you, PlayStation. Everyone's buying Xboxes this year, and everyone's like, wait, all my friends play PlayStation, so
no one's buying an Xbox. There's no Halo.
That's a big thing. Yeah, they delayed Halo again, man. I don't understand.
No, they're saying it's not for altruistic reasons, but they're saying it's for the benefit of the consumer. They want to make sure they put out the best game possible.
They put out that like pre-announcement, and everyone's like, the graphics look awful, and they're like, okay, we're delaying it. That's like the timeline of what happened. I don't understand. It's not for me to understand apparently, because I'm not the fucking one. I'm not on the PR team or the marketing team, or I'm not on the financial team in the background going, we gotta fucking release these things. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I could list the things that I'm not. That makes me not qualified to fucking talk about this shit. But I'm here anyway.
You're a YouTuber, so it gives you all the right to so spew your opinion, sir, and it doesn't need to be validated. Just go ahead and say what's on your mind, man.
That's a good point. I think all the consoles are stupid. I think if you're buying a console at this point, I think it's a dumb decision. I think you could build a PC for $100 more than what that console is going to cost. It's going to be twice as powerful, and it's going to be more fun. And you can plug your damn controller into it if you're one of those weirdos.
Every once in a while, I got a wireless dongle for my controller.
Gross. Latency.
My old, ugly Xbox controller. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I use my Xbox controller for like Tony Hawk and stuff, but
how's that going anyway, man?
Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Done. I've completed the game. 100% completed on both the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. They added like other like challenges into the game. To be fair, I'm like 8 challenges away from beating all 3 categories of challenges now too. But some of them are like, you have to create a park and put 5 things down. And I'm like, I'm not doing that bullshit. And the other ones are like, do 10,000 flip tricks. And I'm like, I mean, that'll happen eventually. So I'm not just going to sit there and spam kickflip over and over again. But so where we sit right now is I'm pretty much done with the game, and I'm just doing like high score runs. So
I was watching a recap of Doc playing it the other.
Doc played it.
Yeah,
he's probably awful at it, I assume.
No, he's actually pretty good, but people were trying to coach him through how to do some like how to string together tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, revert into a manual.
It's so funny because he's like, you can't see what he's looking at with those glasses on, and he looks over the chat, and someone's like, you got to push down and forward and circle. He's like, down, forward, and circle. Way. He just kept saying it over and over. I'm like, is he broken? I'm like, what happened right now? Yeah. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch him play. I forgot how much fun those games are, man.
They're awesome.
I'm not buying it.
Absolutely. You're not buying it?
Nah.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened? You were buying it the last that I knew.
You're done with it.
I haven't played I haven't done any of the multiplayer stuff yet. I'm waiting for you to get the game so we can do the multiplayer stuff. I literally have not even stepped foot in a multiplayer to shit on those poor kids. I hit a 4.9 million combo the other day.
What's stopping you from pooping on people?
I want to have fun with my friends when I play the game. I don't want to go online and just shit on kids. I want to shit on you guys. I did a 4.9 million combo, dude. I was like, all right, I've peaked.
I'm trying to think of what tricks did you have to do what did you do?
You got to just string stuff together, right? Really, the best way is to find a rail in between 2 walls. So then you just like grind, hop off, wall plant, flip trick, grind, hop off, wall plant, flip trick, and then it's quick. It's just quick. 4.9 million.
Problem about this is, Zach, those kids on the sticks playing, they're better than you.
No, they're not.
You know it.
They're
better.
They're not, and they never have been. They never will be. I'm pretty good at the game, and like I didn't even do any of like the manual cheese. You know what the manual cheese is, right? Where you just get into a manual and you start spamming the buttons, where you just start fucking doing like flat ground tricks. I haven't even gotten into that yet.
I'm the best at the game. I'm the best.
I won't say that I'm the best at the game, but if I wanted to be, top 10.
I wake up, roll out of bed, top 5. Once I focus, top 3.
Any given day, top 1.
At any rate, about these the console prices, man. Here's the thing. People are still going to buy, and this is what you call having the captive audience, right? So they're going to release the prices probably. I'm going to predict now a month before the actual release date.
A month is a little close, I think. I think we get it within the next month. Which puts us about 2 months out from release, which I still think is too far. I mean, PlayStation did some shit today where they're like, "Hey, PSVR," and everyone's like, "Hey, fuck you." We're like, "We don't care about your fucking PSVR. Tell us how much we're gonna have to spend on this PS5 that you guys keep hyping up and saying how many teraflops it has."
Oh man, someone asked me a really dumb question, and I was trying not to make him feel stupid. He was like, "I heard the PS5 is not releasing with a remote," and I'm like,
that was actually rumored for a long time. That's not the dumbest question I've ever heard.
That was rumored. That was the rumor. That was the rumor for the PlayStation 4.
It was a rumor for the PS5 too. That they
it was a rumor for the PS3 as well. I remember.
Yes, it's Apple is doing it now. They're not releasing chargers with the fucking new phones, right? Like,
that's a good point.
We're going down that path.
Listen, hold on for a second. First of all, you don't need a charge. The reason they're not releasing the charger for the new phone, have they moved the Type-C yet on all of them yet? Or is it just the iPad? That's why they're not releasing it. It's like, how many things, how many houses I've gone over, not recently, and I've just seen lightning cables just strewn about. There's one in my car, and I had an Apple phone in 3 years or so. I have one in my drawer.
You had an iPhone 7 when you started working with me.
Did I have an iPhone 7? No,
yes.
I had a Galaxy. I brought the iPhone in.
You had an iPhone because you had just broke your Galaxy and were waiting for a replacement. Absolutely, you did. Because you used it. You used it for the first month that you worked there. Absolutely.
Nah, I think that's false. And you, sir, are always trying to
made fun of you for the first month because you had an iPhone. And then you finally came in, you're like, "I'll go to Galaxy." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, you've finally stepped up into the real world." I remember this.
First of all, I would never walk into any room and go, "I got a Galaxy S8 Plus," and raise it up as if it's some type of accomplishment. Secondly, I would never let you, of all people, get away with making fun of me in public for a month without saying anything.
I did. I promise you I did. And then you came in and raised your phone. You're like, "I have one." And then like 2 weeks later, you're like, "It's cracked."
That's not how that went down, but Zach,
it was pretty close. It was pretty close.
Zach has one of the greatest imaginations, but you know whose imagination is better? And I often wonder, looking at him, where he's at, what's he's thinking.
Okay, here we go. And transition 3, 2, 1.
Hold on. No, we're still talking about the consoles here.
Are we? We had moved away from that.
No.
Hours ago.
No, we're still talking about the consoles, but it's someone that plays on console. Wings of Redemption.
Okay.
Whenever I watch this man, and whenever I see him, that one bead of sweat down his face, the quick snapback at the chat, someone calling him Travis for the 8th time, and he's like, "My name's not Travis. Why do you keep calling me that?" Or when someone told him that his girlfriend was with them right now, and he's like, "That's not true. I don't have a girlfriend." I often wonder, when that man wakes up in the morning, what is the first word he says as he puts his feet down to the floor? Zach, what do you think is what? Give it to me, Zach. Give me Wings of Redemption's first word out of his mouth, because he's in the house by himself. His grandmother.
He's married.
Is he married?
Yes.
He's married. No way. That dude, what's her name?
I have no idea. He's keeping everything about it super private.
Oh, is this a recent thing?
Within the last 6 months ish, yeah.
Oh, good for him, man. See, there's love around the corner for everyone.
What I think really what his first word is, he puts his feet on the ground. He's like, "Fuck! All right, let's go."
Dude, I gotta tell you, he's an above average Siege player, man.
He's very good. Yeah, I mean, he made it to like Diamond or something. That's very good.
Yeah, I've noticed that his only losses though have actually come. I don't often want to help anyone inflate their ego, but most of his losses do come from poor teammate support. But then there are times where it's just like he's overestimated his own skill
all the time. He thought for the longest time he was the greatest Call of Duty player to ever live. Like,
how many remotes you think he's broken?
Probably more than me, and that's an absurd number. Like, I don't know, 50s probably, but at some point it becomes a meme, right? And he's making money off of it, so I mean, it can't be that bad for his career to keep breaking controllers.
You know what's funny is someone donated $1 in his chat one day, and then they insulted him. He was like, "So you got to pay at least $10."
He's funny.
All right, we're not gonna get consoles. I'm convinced, right? You know what the next thing that's gonna happen? Sony. I'm calling it. They're gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, that is a very, very real prospect. But they're probably gonna release something that says, you know, due to COVID, blah blah blah, supply lines have been delayed.
You are the most wrong anyone's ever been about anything on this. 2 months ago, mid-COVID, they were like, our supply lines are great. They're better than the PS4. Everyone's going to get a fucking PlayStation.
That sounded very Donald Trumpy to me. We have the best bleach and the only bleach that can cure COVID. I don't do a good Donald Trump, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
the way that he talks, I get it.
No, I'm talking about the way they're talking, the way he talks. Do your Donald Trump impression. Go ahead, do it.
It's not good. No, I don't do impressions on command either. It just makes them worse. We are 1 day away from the multiplayer reveal for the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. A bunch of people have announced that they've already played it. There was a small little alpha get together that a bunch of like pros and streamers and stuff got to play. And the 9th, all the gameplay footage goes up.
Yeah, how you feeling about that, buddy?
Better after I saw the gameplay that got leaked on Twitter the last show. I watched it for like 20 minutes straight. It was like 4 minutes. It was like a 4-minute clip. I feel better. It looks a lot like a mix between Black Ops 2 and 4, which would be very good for me if that's the case.
You're holding yourself together right now.
No, I'm allowed to be excited for things, right? I didn't stop you from being excited for Avengers A-Day with how mediocre the game is at best, or
the game. You know what's crazy, man, is in spite of your venomous-like attitude, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm actually genuinely having a good time playing the game.
It shouldn't. If it does, then you're a weak-willed person.
My will is as strong as the Chinese yen.
That's wow, very sturdy, very non-volatile, very
No, shut your face for a second. I'm actually having so much fun with the game. I thought that when I was playing it with Gavin that it was going to diminish me when I was playing it on my own.
Okay.
But again, I'm just going to point out the graphic disparity isn't too big between PC and PlayStation 4. But I just got it. It's fun, man. Like it is honestly.
Hold on a second. You're comparing a 4K TV to a 1080p monitor, though, and you're still saying the disparity is not that much different.
No,
that should tell you something. 4K TV versus 1080p monitor.
But my PlayStation isn't 4K, so it doesn't matter.
But it's going to upscale to 4K. It does.
No,
it will upscale.
This TV does not upscale, so it's locked in. The highest it's going to go is like HDR. And that's not even something that my PlayStation does. So that means the darks turn really dark. Okay. The light, and it's the craziest thing is his PlayStation isn't a pro either, but it can do the HDR support.
Sure.
And it just makes everything look a little saturated. But I will say this:
HDR is. Let's be fair.
I'm just looking at it and I feel like I took acid. But here's the crazy thing about it: playing the game with him and then playing through the missions over the tutorial stuff. It's actually just a lot of fun, man. Like that first mission where you're just kind of running around. I guess it's not Central Park. I want to say it's Bryant Park or something like that.
Okay.
And you're just kind of like going, looking at the Avengers statues. And I don't want to spoil the story for anyone that hasn't played the game yet. And there's a scene where Amala Khan has to get into the sewers, and I was like, oh man, they did a really good job on the audio. The water sounds like water. It sounds like the footsteps through water. And then you get into a quick fight scene, and a quick fight. And I was just like, it's a lot of fun, dude. And I'm like, a part of me wants to find something wrong with the game so I can come on here and like, well, this is what's wrong with it. But I'm kind of just like fanning it up and having a good time. Now, again, this is everything that I could possibly want from a video game. In a game.
I understand that.
This is everything I could want in the game, man. But I'm having a good time. I've felt like a better person since I've started playing. Like I feel the negativity leaving my body when I play. It's actually pretty amazing. It's almost like being at a spa. You should find something like this that makes you this happy.
Many games do this for me.
Nothing makes you happy, buddy, except for Hawaiian Shirt Sunday. That you genuinely look happy.
And RuneScape and WoW and Call of Duty when it's good.
And buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings. I fuck with buffalo wings super heavy. Sushi,
a good steak.
A great steak. Let's be fair. I could do a good steak. On my worst day.
Running out the restaurant to avoid help.
Fucking hilarious. I almost cried during. That was amazing.
There's actually like a game idea in that, right? Or at least a TV spot for some.
Yeah, it's like an anime. It would be an animated short at best.
Right.
But I actually drove by there the other day. It has a different name than it did when I was there.
What is it? What's the name?
I don't remember because it was different. I was like, that was called something else. And then when I left this job and went to this job, it was called something else. And now it's a third thing.
I'm telling you, man, it's restaurants is shady business. There's nothing worse than when a restaurant closes down and something new opens up, but you notice it's the same staff. And you're like, oh, this is weird. What just happened? You guys were a shawarma place now, and now you're Mr. Sushi. I don't know if I'm buying this at all. Do you like shawarma? Do you like all that type of stuff?
What is a shawarma?
Like falafel.
I don't like falafel. I don't like chickpeas.
Really?
It's like one of the 5 things you could find that I really don't like eating.
What are the other 4 things?
I don't know. You would have to go through a list, but like, no, you see what? I would eat this. I would totally eat this. You said falafel, and falafel immediately to me is fucking mushed up chickpeas and put into a fucking little bread thing. I would eat this. Shawarma?
Yeah, shawarma's good, man. I like a lot of shawarma. I F's with it. I'm trying not to curse as much on this show. How am I doing?
Not great. You fucking suck.
Speaking of things that suck, did you happen to see what happened to poor Cardi B on Twitter? You gotta know you gotta know how to punch in your weight class, man. Hold up for a second. You gotta punch in your weight class, right? So Cardi B's not the best rapper, but I wouldn't step up on Instagram and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take you in a freestyle battle." You never know what she might actually pull out, and then you just realize I've swam past my depth. So Cardi B, of course, did that now infamous interview with Joe Biden the other day, and Joe Biden came out of the basement to be interviewed by someone other than his own wife, and people were giving her a little, razz about it because some of the questions she asked weren't really making a lot of sense, but her heart was in the right place.
Sure.
The unfortunate part is Candace Owens' heart is never in the right place, and she's like a piranha just floating through Twitter looking for things to talk about, and somehow they got into a little exchange. Candace Owens went on the Ben Shapiro show to talk about the WAP song with Ben Shapiro, and then she was also talking about the interview. Cardi B felt like Candace Owens had disrespected her, and her and Ben Shapiro were bullying her, which is obviously you don't want to throw chum in the water when the shark is already swimming around. So Cardi B did a live Instagram video talking about Candace Owens, and Candace Owens responded and basically dragged this poor woman 100% and just annihilated her in all the wrong ways, to the point where it just seemed like internet bullying. And the funny thing was Cardi B's fans kept trying to challenge Candace Owens to it. And like apparently Candace just has like the best Twitter fingers ever because she's responding. You say something, like she's going to respond, dude. Dave Chappelle said something about the smell of her nether regions. She said, "Say it to my face, Dave." Damn. Best comeback I've ever.
So I'm just on her Twitter right now. This tweet right here has sold me alone. To those asking, no, I wasn't invited to speak at Cardi B's funeral. That's fucking brutal. That's brutal.
You should go through her Twitter sometimes. Like,
no, it's too conservative and political for me.
She is the perfect troll, man. Like, it's like they grew her in a lab somewhere, and it's amazing. The only person who trolls better than her is Charlemagne the God. You don't go into this guy's show, sit down in that chair, and like, I'm sure he's very pleasant in the beginning. Like, hey, sure. Zach, how you doing, buddy? Man, really enjoyed the last episode. We should probably get lunch sometime. We're going live in 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Okay. And then he just starts tearing into whatever poor assholes into that chair. Like, the worst was probably Lecrae, the Christian rapper. Like, just imagine being Lecrae for a second when this guy.
I will. Hold on. Let me Google him first.
Google Lecrae.
I'll find him. You keep talking.
So Lecrae sits
dead air.
Lecrae sits down in the chair, begins the conversation with Charlemagne, and Lecrae at the time was pretty orthodox in his belief system. And Charlemagne's like, "Yeah, I think you have a hard time putting gender on God." And it's like, you could tell it was one of those things where he's like, "I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that question. Do I nod, smile, and agree, or do I just cave into myself?" And he caved in. And he's done this to multiple. Look what he just did to Joe Biden recently. Joe Biden said on his show, "You're not black if you don't vote for me." And only Charlemagne the God could draw that type of truth out of a person. So that's why I'm voting for Joe Biden. I don't want to lose my black card. How about you?
You got me here. I have no idea who any of these people are that we've spoken about for the last few minutes. I am sitting here in awe at best.
You don't know who Charlemagne the God is?
From that Shade 45 show? Is that what it is?
No,
I don't. Then I don't, because I don't listen to stuff that I'm not going to enjoy. So
I think you would actually enjoy Charlemagne. You guys share a lot of the same character traits.
It seems like he's a uber conservative rapper guy. And
who, Charlemagne?
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
No, he's not an uber conservative rapper guy. What he is he's probably an interviewer, and he's not a rapper. He's an interviewer that's stuck in a role, not stuck in a role, but he's definitely big in his role.
Okay.
He could step outside of that and do like regular news if he wanted to, but he's not conservative in the least bit. He's probably more of a libertarian.
Okay. I mean, I don't listen to political stuff at all, though. So, like, recommending The Breakfast Club is what he's part of. My bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about Shade 45, because I maybe hear about a lot of rap songs, I guess. But
you're thinking about Big Sway.
Is that what he does?
Yes, Sway's on the 40. He's actually a really nice guy.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't follow any of this stuff at all.
You know who Machine Gun Kelly is?
Yeah, I know who Machine Gun Kelly is.
Machine Gun Kelly was on with Sway when the whole thing about Eminem's daughter broke out.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny because, yeah, Shady's record. I think that's his radio station. He's like sitting there.
It's like, sorry. And we'll get out of here. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for the brisket. This was delightful.
I want to go back to Cleveland now. Good luck.
Do you F with brisket?
I've had it a few times. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you make it yourself, or?
I've never done like the long-term smoking for food. I've never done those. I would like to, but I just feel like it's kind of a pain in the ass, and I don't like doing things for like 14 hours straight.
So you definitely not gonna be a dad, then, huh? You're like, son, this is the 12th hour. I gotta go.
Stiff arm him and walk away. No, I mean, there's things that I tolerate for long periods of time, but like, that's a commitment, right? Like, to like do a good brisket is a fucking huge commitment. I would probably enjoy it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't really like the too smoky of a brisket. I've had it in a few places where it's just been the right amount of smoky. You know, you can overdo it with that stuff too. There's some people who are like, I smoked the meat. I'm like, no, dude, you burned the meat. That's what I take there. But all right.
I mean, I like cooking, so I don't see why I wouldn't like doing it. I just feel like it's a super long commitment. So
nah, I think you'd be good at it, man. I think we should invest for a smoker for you over here, of course. We'll put it 20 feet away from the house. Just come over and have a good time. Smoke the food and you got to leave after it's done, but we'd appreciate it if you came by and did that. I show everyone the food you cook.
I'm not going to cook you anything specifically.
Me specifically?
Yeah, you specifically. Everyone else in the house where I'm okay with. I just feel like cooking for you would just be too much, and I just don't feel like doing it.
Cooking for me? I'm like the easiest person to get along with, man.
You just complained about a brisket being too smoky when it's a smoked meat.
Not too smoky when it's over smoked.
There's levels. There's levels to the game, and if the person is known for smoked meats, then you got to kind of deal with it, right?
You know, it's a great movie, man. That always makes me really laugh, and like I love
The Color of Money.
Yeah, that's also a great movie about cooking. Have you ever seen Chef?
No.
Oh man, it's one of those movies, like a feel good movie, man, but it really, really makes you think you can cook or you want to cook, or it made me feel that way. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna learn to cook. I'm not gonna do any of this stuff.
It's from 2014.
Yeah,
no good movies came out in 2014.
Here we go. Here we go.
We're about to do this. Movies.
I'm not biting. I'm not biting on this one. I'm just gonna let you and Wikipedia figure it out.
No. Hold on. I am gonna go to Wikipedia just because it's the easiest and the most precise. Here we go. The highest grossing movie of 2014 was Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Oof. Classic.
That is a terrible movie. The Transformers movies are all bad because they're just fucking eye vomit. They're just like explosions, colors, fucking things. And I'm like, oh my god. Well, I guess you would heavily disagree with me because X-Men: Days of Future Past came out this year. Captain America: The Winter Soldier came out this year. Actually, I am vastly wrong. Interstellar came out in 2014. Interstellar is maybe my favorite movie of all time. It's a very, very good movie.
Interstellar? Yeah, I watched the spoiler the other night.
Yeah, because you wouldn't fucking actually watch it. You made me watch all these movies, and you wouldn't actually watch the one that I recommended.
You've watched 2 movies. One, I think, really.
No, Falling Down. I watched Fight Club, and there was another. Yeah, Fight Club was great, and there was another one in there. I've watched 3 that you've recommended, and I recommend one movie.
You were supposed to watch the 3rd movie I said, and you flat out got indignant.
What movie was it?
I can't remember, but you definitely got indignant about it.
But I've watched multiple movies that you have recommended to me, and you couldn't do me the courtesy of watching one movie that I asked you to watch.
The movie was not available anywhere.
That is factually incorrect. I love having these conversations with Steve because there's always just dead air in the middle. It's on Hulu right now. It's on Hulu. Interstellar is on Hulu. I've watched it on Hulu.
It's on Hulu with commercials. You can't watch a movie like that with commercials.
Then pay for the Hulu without commercials.
I'm using your Hulu. Why am I going to pay?
I have the Hulu without commercials. If you were if you're using mine, which I would totally allow, you would be using the one without commercials. I pay the extra $7 a month, whatever it is, to avoid the commercials.
You're turning red. I watched the movie. I just couldn't believe you didn't remember when I told you this. It was long, but it was good.
No, this is verbatim what you told me because we've actually had this conversation multiple times. I watched the abridged version because it was too long.
Yeah, I said that to mess with you. I watched the whole thing.
I don't believe you in the slightest. So you're back. You're going back because I called you out on not watching the shit that I recommended when I watched the shit that you recommended.
No. I don't go back on anything. I'll stand my ground 100% on any subject that I'm at. I'm not gonna, even if I'm wrong, I'm not backpedaling. No, I watched it. I thought it was good. Matthew McConaughey was Matthew McConaughey as usual. The one character I did feel sorry for in the entire movie was the son. To be waiting there.
Son.
Yeah, let me make my case.
Daughter, man.
No, not the daughter.
What are you talking about? The daughter's the one who wouldn't come out of the fucking house when he was leaving. The daughter's the one who was communicating.
I'm talking about the son not wanting to leave the family farm when she was burning down the corn, you psycho. But you didn't let me finish my point.
You feel bad for that kid? You're feeling bad for the wrong kid. Who cares about that idiot?
No, it's not the son. No, dude, I'm trying to tell you about the part because he's so stuck in. I thought that was good writing on their part for that transition.
The entire movie was incredible.
The entire movie was incredible. Everything you're saying is incredible. Listen, I thought it was good. Christopher Nolan, Yeah, why not? You gonna go see his new movie?
I'm seeing a leak right now that's from a very credible source that the Xbox Series S will be revealed at $299. This is from an incredibly reliable source.
Who's the source?
Deserto.
The S is the lower spec version, not the discless version, correct?
That's the discless version is the S, I believe. I to be fair, I knew this at one point and then have forgot it since, but I'm looking at the image right now and it looks to be what looks like the Xbox, right, that we saw, but without a CD drive. So without a disc drive.
$229 is not a bad price.
$299. That's cheaper than a Switch, I think, isn't it? That's significantly cheaper than what the last gen consoles released at. Even if this is the spec down model, then well, I mean, I guess if it is the spec down model, then probably just keep your Xbox Series or what the fuck is this? What is the one that I have called? Wait, I have the Xbox One Series X. Xbox One X. I'm trying to because the Xbox naming scheme got so convoluted and stupid that it doesn't make sense anymore.
Please stop saying Xbox. It sounds like you're about to have a stroke right now.
But that's what we're talking about. So,
which version of the of that console do you have?
The Xbox One X. The highest version you could buy. Just the naming scheme just lost the plot, man. Why we couldn't have gone Xbox One, Xbox 2? Like, stop fucking putting other words in your fucking name. PlayStation got it right. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. Next up, man, you know what? We didn't go PlayStation 1377. We went PlayStation 5 because that's good marketing. Holy shit.
You okay, bud?
I'm just angry at the whole Xbox situation.
It was amazing because we said it like 3 times in a row, and of course you have to say it to talk about what we're talking about. But it's just like the Xbox. Which version of the Xbox do I have?
I don't even know which
Xbox. You know what? $299, not bad.
It's much less power than the Xbox Series X, and will play same games as part of Microsoft's smart delivery device. So this is the shitty version. But yeah, Gfinity Esports just broke it too. So we're gonna be a day late behind on this one, but
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. At any rate,
yeah, I would say moving on. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not.
We are a pro PC podcast, and not politically correct, but I guess somewhat.
You know what? I did. I like the coolers. I will say this. I like the design of the Xbox Series X, like the internals and how they did that. I think they're heading in the right direction in regards to thermals. Obviously, I don't know enough about that stuff until it's in front of me and how looking at it to see what it's gonna be like when it overheats. It's not that I'm burnt out on it, man. It's just at this point, it's time to play. You know, it's time to see what we're doing here. I just want to see what's next. And also, I'm kind of sad thinking about my PS4 not being the most underutilized thing in my house, and then the Xbox 5 becoming that. So, I mean, the PlayStation 5 becoming that. But who gives a flying rat's ass?
The PS4 just holds that title now. It's just even less utilized than it was now.
It sits over there, man.
Or the Linux PS3.
Oh man, I turned that thing on the other day and it made a weird sound. I was like, unplugged it right away. Get it out of here. Listen. I want to talk to you about something that I know that you're not an expert in, but you always have really good insights about this, man. And because of the business aspect, so we wanted to save it for the show. Let's get into this Nick Merckx nade shot thing, right?
Sure, go ahead, lay it out for me. I know nothing about this. You are way more involved in keeping way more in track than I am. Because to be fair, I wasn't never really a big fan of Nade Shot, even when he was a pro player. So,
all right. Well, I'm not going to be able to give you guys a concise back history for these two guys, but I will tell you this: comprehensive. Thank you. They had a business venture with each other early days of 100 Thieves. Nick Merckx came out. Sounds like that he had signed to them, and then he was doing some stuff with them. He actually moved to LA, was running pretty tight with Nade Shot for a while, and they were just doing the scenester thing out there. And then at some point, because of the things that Nick Merckx was doing in the background, I guess he was offered 5% of the company by Nate Shot. Not unheard of, right? Something that boys do between each other. It's like, hey man, you've really been here for me. You've really been doing a lot of promoting for the company. Apparently, according to both of them, Nick Merckx was sitting on a lot of meetings and not just some guy sitting in a meeting. Like he had some input. He was allowed to speak at the table.
Okay.
And that business deal, of course, legendarily went sour. And Nick Merckx has said everything but I'll F that dude up if I see him in public again. And he's been very stand-up guy about it, just saying like, nah, no business with them. He's like, what he did was wrong. That's it. Doc, a few months ago, tried to introduce the option of reconciliation between the two of them. And Nick Merckx, this is while they were on stream with each other, Doc and Nick Merckx, and he's just kind of like brushed it off. Someone asked him again recently, like, what would it take for you and Nate Shot to really reconcile? Could you guys be friends? And he, Nick Merckx went into a kind of monologue about the values of life and the importance of forgiveness. And I thought he was setting us up to be like, but I'll never forgive that motherfucker. But he literally said, like, yeah, of course. He's like, there is potential for me to forgive him, but I can't forget.
Sure.
It's like, I can't forget promises made and then promises not kept. Also, I think there is a bit to go with it that has to do with culture and upbringing. Nick Merckx is a Midwestern guy. I can vouch for a lot of those dudes. That is something that is very ingrained into who they are as people. Like your word is supposed to be your bond. Like, yeah, strong as oak. They should be able to trust you. But now, from a business aspect, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. How would you have gone about it differently? Like if you're in Nate Shot's position, because the way I'm looking at it is sometimes you can speak and say you want to do something that really isn't in your power. I don't know where 100 Thieves was financially, but I know they had investors, and he can't just be giving away 5% of the company.
Correct.
So take it away, Zach.
So I don't know the backing and the financials behind 100 Thieves. I know the fact that they have investors. I know that the company's not hurting at the moment, right? They decided to not join the Call of Duty League because of the entry fee and because he has responsibilities for people. How much of 100 Thieves does Nate Shot own? That's the question, right? Because he wouldn't be giving Nick Merckx 5% of the company. He'd be giving Nick Merckx 5% of what he owns, right? Is essentially how he would be allowed to do that. Yeah, listen, he's built a fantastic company in 100 Thieves, one of the best apparel brands within the gaming space, if not the best apparel brand within the gaming space. They're announcing a Valorant roster. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. That's like a lot of big news and big topics there. Is 100 Thieves competitive in any other esport? I don't think they are. Right. I think they're a content creation team almost akin to what FaZe was for a few years when they were out of the Call of Duty scene before they got back into COD and then into Counter-Strike and had success within Counter-Strike. I think 100 Thieves at points has an identity crisis is really what the issue I see with 100 Thieves. We'll get to the 5% thing in a few. I think that 100 Thieves either needs to say that they're an esports organization or they're a content team with an apparel or an apparel company with a content team. I think they need to lay out what exactly they are because they were initially an esports organization, right? They went in and either won champs last year in Call of Duty or came in second. They were very, very good. I think that needs to be solved first. Now, the Nick Merckx deal, if what Nick Merckx says is 100% the truth, I have no reason not to trust Nick Merckx. I've never watched the guy. I know what he sounds like because I've heard him speak in the backgrounds of other people's streams, but I've never personally watched his content. To be fair, I did watch his game room reveal because it shit is sick.
It's amazing. The entire house is amazing.
Yeah, I mean the guy does a good business, right? So I feel like he should be rewarded for that, and I think that's appropriate. But if what he says is 100% the truth, I don't think he should ever forgive or forget what Nate Shot did. I think that's super shitty. I knew he repped the brand for a long time, and I knew he's a very, very popular figure and a powerhouse within the Twitch and streaming and YouTube community at this point. Man, I think it's really shitty if that's happened. Now, if Nick Merckx is overplaying it, I think it's at some point he should move past it and they should do content together because I think it's good. I think it's good for everybody. But to be fair, the company was going to be where it is today without Nick Merckx involved. But if Nick Merckx was a founding father and helped pave that way, he deserves to be compensated for it.
No, 100%. I think a clean break is possibly the best in my opinion. Like maybe both brands, both brands are doing good on their own. Here's the one thing that catches me out about this type of stuff, right? There's usually a level of sincerity that comes through when a person is angry. And then sometimes there's also a good tell how sincere a person is, the way they react to disappointment and stuff like that. And I am not a trained body language reader, and I don't even think those guys get certificates either. They're pretty much witch doctors, in my opinion. But there is a certain way that Nick Merckx has approached the situation where it led me to believe that what he was saying was not untrue. That he just sees it, he just kind of sees it as like, yo, man, you had a chance to be a stand-up guy about this. And I think Nate Shot in his own way is being stand-up, because here's what he doesn't do. Nate Shot doesn't shit on Nick Merckx's name. Now, some people might think that's an omission to guilt, but it also could be like, hey, this dude's twice my size. There are real consequences in life for speaking when you speak out of term. But anytime it comes up, Nate Shot just says, there was some money involved. There's still kind of a legal aspect to this. He's like, I'm not really going to speak on it to fuel any negativity. But he was on stage with someone, Nate Shot being him, and his buddy spoke up for him. And I guess maybe his buddy spoke out of turn. And Nick Merckx had that fool on the phone, if everything he said is true, that day. He was like, don't get me his agent. Don't get me his agent's agents. Get me him.
Sure.
So I can correct him on what he just said. And I think you and I are both two very straight speaking guys. And that's exactly how I would like to handle that.
A lot of trouble. It's gotten in a lot of trouble.
But the business, man, the business part about it, like when I say the clean break, man, just think about if he would have still been tied to 100 Thieves. You don't know. I mean, he would have been as big, right? But who knows if he would have been the Merckx that people love today, right? On his own.
So here's the thing. Was he the same person when he was with 100 Thieves? Yes. Right? Here's the answer to that question. The short answer to that question is yes. Right? Because if he had changed drastically since then, there would be all sort of talk about it, right? Nick Merckx is only doing this because of that. And no, I'm assuming he's still the same person, right? I don't think either of them mutually needed the other one, but it would help both brands for them to be a part of each other's lives. Right.
Yeah.
And that I'll never say no to. But also, I don't think either person needs the other person. That's it. Right. Nate Shot was huge. Like the biggest thing in esports for the longest time. Right. He didn't need someone else to build the brands. Right. Yeah. The same question is would Optic have been bigger if Nate Shot and Hex stayed together? Right. That's a similar question. Right. Because they built the brand together. No, I think it goes the same direction. Okay. I just think that they're partners in Huntsman now, right? That's the only direction I think it goes. But I don't think that either of them mutually needed the other one. It would have just been nice. That's it.
It's funny, man, when I think about these type of like, you call them power duos, but like, so this is wasted on you. I was about to make a music reference. I was like, he probably doesn't even know who these guys. You know who the hip hop group Outkast is?
I know who Outkast is, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Big Boy, Andre 3000, right?
Yep.
Both individually talented on their own. I could listen to an album. I think
Andre 3000's top 10 greatest rappers of all time. He's in that conversation though.
He's in the conversation for a lot of people. I've heard that in the list. He's on Eminem's top. He's on Eminem's top list of top 3 of MCs, I believe. I don't know if that's changed at all. I would put him probably in my top 10, but I would put Big Boy a little bit higher over him.
Really?
Yeah, and only because of delivery and cadence and stuff like that. I think they work great together, but I think Big Boy is probably the better lyricist. Andre is definitely a better musician in regards to like what he envisions for the album and what he envisions for the track. He's that guy that's like, hey, we can push for live acoustics in this, right? We don't have to use a loop in it. But do they need each other to be Outkast? No. Yeah, they don't need to be each other in each other's lives to make great music. They make great music together, but they both made an album each on a double CD where they didn't work with each other once, which was the last album. And then they went their separate ways. I think they're still doing good on their own. Same thing. Now, when you look at a dynamic like Biggie and Puffy, they needed each other. Right? Okay. Biggie needed someone to promote him, and Puffy needed someone to validate him to get him where he was. absolutely need each other for that business assessment, for that business arrangement. It's just weird because I would like to see Nate and Nick Merckx stream together because I think it would be a funny game to watch, right?
Sure.
Because as funny as Nick Merckx is, I actually like watching Nate Shot stream because it's not like he's really cracking that many jokes, but he's just that good at talking shit. Like when Ninja was giving him a hard time, like just to hear him say, "Man, would you just shut up? Like would you, like, would you just please just shut up?" And actually, he's got some good kills I've seen. Anyway, I'm not gonna fanboy out on it, but it would be great to see them team up together. I'd actually like to see them play with Doc again, but that's never going to happen in this lifetime.
It can't. It literally cannot happen, right? It cannot happen. Twitch will make a stand on that. All these people are saying like, oh, the big five need to go in, just go play with Doc, but there's a reason they're not. Right? There's a reason they're not. Their lawyers have contacted Twitch lawyers, and this is what's happening if that happens, right? I don't even think you can't even play Doc's videos on Twitch right now, I think is where we're at. That legal dispute, but this is common, right? Ice Poseidon had gotten banned from Twitch and still is banned from Twitch, and he cannot appear in a Twitch stream. There were people that left Twitch because of it, because they were part of his group and went to YouTube and Mixer and all these other things because they could not stream with him if they were on Twitch. And that's the case at the moment. So
it's interesting, the Doc situation, because he just recently came out. Someone asked him a question on live stream too, and he was just like talking about the anxiety of it all, and like there's just certain tells about someone when they're recapping their story or their version of the story. Yeah. And to hear him say that he had anxiety over it, that's typically not something you hear someone say who's dealing with a level of guilt. There are other mechanisms they use to kind of deflect from talking about their feelings. But I cannot imagine what it is to be him right now. $20 million out. Just gone, as if it never existed.
Man, he made a lot. He's making a lot of money streaming, dude.
He is.
Not $20 million. I give you that.
Yes.
But I feel like the longevity of a streamer is really dependent on how good their entertainment is and how much it evolves over time. And that's where Doc is very, very good. He evolves constantly. So
go ahead.
Doc will eventually get signed to a new streaming platform once the Twitch situation is figured out. My guess is that Twitch is going to have to pay him 50% of whatever the contract was worth. If Doc didn't do anything illegal. Right. If he had done something illegal and that's why they banned him, then yes, that's that. And he'll go to another platform and maybe YouTube won't sign him exclusively, but that's where he is now. Right.
Right.
But if it comes out that there's something happened, it was a miscommunication, a number of things, and Twitch fucking pulled the trigger too fast and banned him for no reason, he gets 50% of that money and signs exclusively for more money to YouTube.
Yeah, and he sues them for damages as well and to pay his legal fee.
Man, if you get 50% of his contract was $10 million, I don't think he gets damages for that.
And look, if he settles for the 10 million, but you can also you can have an arbitrator come in there and say, hey, also I need to be recouped for these billable hours that my lawyer put in. Because it costs money every time you speak to one of those people on the phone. I agree with your assessment 100%. You know what's crazy about this entire thing is that it has not, talking about Doc, has not impacted the level of content he puts out.
No.
Which speaks to his professionalism, man. Like there's some people, you know them, they just ball up and just curl up and die in these type of situations. And there are other people who are like, well, I still got to get up, still got to feed my family. Like my bills don't go away. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I knew what the actual reasoning was. I've heard multiple people since that it happened is like, oh, I know the reason, but I'm not talking about it. And I believe that someone out there knows the reason, right? I believe Doc knows it. I believe Twitch knows it. I believe the lawyers on both sides knows it. And I believe there's a third-party source out there that knows it, but no one is willing to talk about it.
Yeah, if it was something criminal, this is the only thing. He's in California. I believe that there's no statute of limitations on certain sex crimes in California. Sure. So if it was something criminal, he'd be in cuffs, and that would be in the mainstream media. Like there is no NDA, and there is no NDA that you can sign that's going to hold up if a person decides to press charges. Like
correct.
That has
correct. It's public. It's in the court of law, which is a public institution. Absolutely.
Yeah, Bill Cosby thought he was going to get away with that, and lo and behold, the judge was like, "No, you can't make someone sign something like this after you accosted them." So I don't think it's something criminal. I do agree with your first assessment when we talked about it. There was something that might have maybe Doc stepped out of bounds in regards to his contract, overextended himself, and they spanked him. Or it really is just, Twitch, Amazon playing smart business. Like, hey, we don't need to do this.
Sure.
We don't need to do this anymore, and that is typically how companies work. I've seen people be in the same situation where it's like, yeah, I know we have a contract with you, but we're willing to keep this in legislate. We're willing to take this to court and keep you tied up in court for years.
Litigation for as long as it takes.
Yeah. That has nothing.
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't know where the end is, but it settles quietly out of court in the next 6 months, 6 to 18 months.
Oh, man. Imagine if we're there, if we're doing that good as a channel, like we get the scoop.
We show up.
I'm just hanging outside with a trench coat. They grab me because obviously I'm a black
sir,
trench
coat. Sir, do you have any comment? Mr. Beam, do you have any comments? No, okay. Doc? No, okay. All right, just gonna try both personalities, okay?
Just get out of there. Oh man.
Just turn around and run. There's one talk. Like the gif of Alex Jones turning and running across the street.
Dude, where is Alex Jones, man?
Alex Jones is on InfoWars, man. Still is. Still always will be. They just fucking deplatformed him off of everything on the internet.
You sound a little angry about that.
I don't like when anyone gets deplatformed. I don't agree with any of the guy's policies or thoughts or anything that he says, but I still don't think it's fair to deplatform someone, even if a lot of the shit they're saying is absolutely ridiculous.
Especially if they're flat earthers. I think we need to increase their platform.
Is he a flat earther?
No, he's not. But
okay.
it would be amazing if he was, because that would be the thing that makes me go to that website. As it is right now, I assume that's riddled with key loggers and all types of things that I'm not going to allow on my computer. So I'm not going there, dude. But someone brought up to me that you showed them the flat Earth thing, by the way, and it was just amazing. He was like, yeah, they kept talking about it, and they just kept saying flat.
It wasn't me though. It was Shane. I'm the one who linked it ultimately because it was like, hey, find this video. All right. It was funny. It's a very funny video, man. That guy that we've shouted out fucking All Gas No Brakes 100 times. He's put out a new video recently. But yeah, it's good content, man. It's good content. It's funny shit. I
gotta tell you folks, go ahead and click on it and just watch it turn from funny to dark, because there's a point where you start to notice that there is a
theme.
There
are some Venn diagrams that are just circles on top of each other. Absolutely. It's very good though. He makes incredible content.
Dude, so I know you didn't finish The Boys season 1. Or at least
I'm one episode off of finishing it. I don't care for it.
You don't care for it anymore?
No, I just it got too fucking superhero-y for me at the end. Well, super powery, I guess, because they're not heroes. Let's be fair.
They're amazing.
It just got boring, I guess. I don't know.
What was the last thing you remember in one of your last episodes? Did you see Homelander basically jump out of a plane and leave a bunch of people to die?
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, so that is why I like the show, because even in the comics, they are the worst heroes. Like
sure. They're corporate heroes. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah, and I mean they're bad at it. But there's a part in the comic books where they actually try to go to prevent, I believe it's 9/11, and they make the entire situation worse. Like they just make it all worse. But season 2 is coming out. I believe it released on Friday.
The 4th. Yeah.
I have not started binging it yet. Obviously, I've been committed to playing Avengers like a professional that I am through and through. But I'm going to go deep into this, and I'm going to go deep into this for one reason.
Okay.
I what?
Professionals generally aren't biased, but go ahead. The Boys. I'm sorry.
Wait, how am I biased?
You even said you were. You said you were. I asked you if you could give me an unbiased, like, legitimate review.
No, but I'm still playing it like a professional, man.
No, but you said like a professional. Professionals are generally unbiased, but okay.
No, that's not true. Everyone has bias.
No, not always.
What? It's a general part of your psychological makeup. Everyone has bias, whether they admit it or not.
So you can't look at anything objectively at all. You can't look at anything for what it is and give a non-biased review.
But looking at things objectively, that's a learned trait. That's something you learn how to do. Bias is built into you. So yes.
Okay. But I'm saying you could look at things objectively and not have a bias, right?
Yeah, I know that. You're saying that I can't look at the Avengers.
You told me you couldn't. You told me last week on the show that, you know, this isn't a game that you can look at without a bias. Like, you're going to love it no matter what because it's an Avengers game.
Yeah, 100%. But if I wanted to be objective about it, I can give you objectively what's wrong about the game, but I can still love it at the same time.
No, I asked you last week for an objective, non-biased review, and you told me you could not do that.
You said I need to find someone that can give me an objective opinion.
After I had asked you about it, and you said that you couldn't give me a non-biased review.
Actually, my rebuttal in there was like, yeah, that's not me. That's not going to be
the same shit. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it.
That's not me. But
sure.
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to The Boys season 2, and I'm going to tell you why I'm looking forward to it. Because there's a certain level of writing that comes with writing a show and a comic book. And this show is going to transition into a higher level of writing and acting out the scenes and the scripts. So they did do a little sex bending on the show. They turned one of the characters into a woman, but I actually think that works.
Were they a male in the first season?
No, so when I say sex bending, they
from the comic.
Yeah, original source material. Sure. So, and here's the thing, I can't go into this without spoiling it because I don't want to ruin it for anyone else. You'll know exactly who it is once you watch the first episode. But the thing that's going to be really great about this is I know where this is all trending to. And I absolutely love the creator of the comic book and who's on the show as well, because the man's a complete psycho. He's willing to turn the entire theory of superheroes upside down on its own head just to prove a point that you can write something that shows imperfections and godlike characters. And I'm just gassed on it, man. I'm gassed on it. And I love talking to other people who enjoy the show too, because it's like there's a chance where you can stick so closely to the source material we don't leave any chance for like creativity. Game of Thrones tried this as well, but they're like, hey, we're going to try to do a little bit of our own thing when we're doing this, but it didn't translate as well.
Sure.
They've pulled it off so far in season 1 with The Boys. I want to see where they're going to go with Homelander's story with his son, because as much as I'm trying to remember if that was actually something in the original source material, there are also some peripheral characters that are hanging around Homelander, and I want to see if they're going to play out exactly the same way The Boys did. And the thing that people forget about the show is Homelander and the crew, they are actually not the star of the shows. The actual boys, the bounty hunters, they're the ones you should be paying the most attention to. And I think they nailed it in season 1. And I cannot wait to see how far these guys are willing to go in season 2. I know you're not familiar with the comic book at all, but there's one thing that they did in season 1 where I thought this was another good sex bend. They changed so you know the Australian dude, the British guy or whatever, the lead.
Yeah, the lead bounty hunter for sure.
So the guy who trained him and basically recruited him into their little motley crew.
Okay.
You remember when they're talking about 2 children getting burned in a fire and they're looking for one superhero who's retired? He's like the lamp holder or something like that. They keep mentioning him.
Vaguely, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, here's the darkest part of The Boys, besides Homelander eating 2 babies. This guy set someone else's kids on fire. Mm-hmm. And that's what sets this entire series of events into motion. And I want to see if they're going to go back to that, because eventually when the story crescendos, that plays a huge part in it. And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how they're going to map all this stuff out. Someone I'm really interested to getting back on the show to talk to him about it once it concludes is Mears, is to talk to Fat Mantis, because I don't know how they're going to keep it all together for season 2. I'm excited talking about it.
Are they releasing the episodes weekly, or is it all out right now?
I believe it's all out for consumption right now.
Okay.
For consumption. You should finish that last episode, man.
This is again a thing where you're asking me to do things that I'm just not going to enjoy. I just don't enjoy the entire genre of anything to do with superpowers. So I mean, I could, but it's just something that I know going into it I'm not going to like. So
open your mind, man. Broaden your horizons.
I haven't watched so much superhero bullshit in my life. Going, man, maybe this will be the one that makes me want to fucking like all of this other garbage. And we're just doing another thing now. It's just like I get it. I totally understand the love and respect for the comics and the translation from that into the movies and TV shows and video games. It's just not for me. I know my limits of where and what I like, and it's just not it.
That's because you suffer from something called weakness.
No, it's because I just don't like the genre. So I wouldn't like it in any facet. Right? There's other genres. Well, not as many genres as I hate as much as this one. But
hate
like,
is a strong word. Have you ever considered the depth in which you are using it, like to actually hate or loathe or something? Like you have like a physical.
It brings me physical pain to actually sit through and watch the bullshit that you recommend to me. Right, all of the superhero stuff and the Marvel stuff. I hate every single moment of it. I would rather be doing so many other things than watching anything to do with superheroes.
I often have that same reaction to the things that come out of your mouth and think about smacking you, but I pull it back in. Sure. I pull it in, and I get through it. I get through it, man. I get through it. There is one thing that you did recommend to me that I watched and I thought it was pretty funny. It's usually a YouTube video that you send commonly. There was also some memes that you sent. I was like, this is probably gonna be all types of dumb, but thought it was funny. You sent me one thing.
I try to cater my stuff to my audiences. I really do.
I was like, I actually looked at one thing, laughed out loud that you sent me today while I was working with someone.
Was it the salt one? It is the salt one. Yeah, but I'm gonna cater my audience. I'm not gonna come up to you and recommend you like movies about building cars, right? Or TV shows about building cars.
I like that type of stuff. I like watching shows about. See, I'm what you would call someone that can sit down and appreciate things outside of my comfortability realm. It's what I've been trained to do. I'm a well-adjusted adult. I've watched shows about cars being built. Not a big car guy myself, but there was the something to do with one of those indie things, and I watched a docuseries on one of those, and I was like, wow, I didn't think these guys were athletes.
Formula One Drive to Survive.
Is that what it's called?
Is that what is it about the F1 season? There was 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Fantastic show. It's what got me into F1. It's what got me into F1.
I like the camera quality.
Very
I like
good. The storytelling is good.
Storytelling is good. I'm really interested in the pit teams. Those were the guys that kind of caught my interest of the whole thing because I didn't realize the skill level it takes. I mean, obviously there is a tangible skill level that comes with it, but you don't realize how much goes into the coordination, keeping the car, the uptake, how much money they spend for those laps per lap is amazing to me.
You got to imagine some of the budgets are in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. I don't know how they get a return on that. That car must be made of heroin. I'm not sure how they make money off of it, to be honest with you.
Sponsorships and selling Mercedes. Mercedes is on the side of the fucking F1 car, and Lewis Hamilton wins, 5 out of 7 races this year or something. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to fucking drive a Mercedes like Lewis Hamilton.
But you know what? Man, I'm going to try to show it the respect it deserves. Formula One, NASCAR, all that stuff, COVID proof, in my opinion. I know that a lot of it is having the crowd there, and that looks really great on ESPN or wherever it's broadcasted. But there is something really cool about watching the races now with no fans there. Yeah. And it's just like watching the cars
pure racing.
Yes.
And Formula and Indy and all the other different Formula 1, 2, and 3s, like all of that way above NASCAR. Right. NASCAR in itself is a hard sport. Don't get me wrong. The cars are 170 degrees inside. You're in them for 5.5 hours. There's a lot of things like they're impossible to fucking control unless you're a NASCAR driver. Right. There's a lot of things that go into NASCAR, but it's a circle, right? They're in an oval and that's it. There's some road courses, which are the best races of the year, but there is no oval track for Formula. Right, Formula One is through a legitimate course, and they're racing in France at Spa or Belgium at Spa, and they're racing in Germany at the Nürburgring. Like they're racing in Monaco. Like they're really racing at the best of the best tracks, and to watch the people who are in the best cars to do it and are the best of the best is incredible.
Yeah, it's one of those things though. Trying to think of something that I can equate it to that never really caught on. I think we had talked about this before.
Kickboxing.
Yeah. So I feel as if with kickboxing, unlike car racing, that if it had someone to really like drive the marketing and people could understand what goes into kickboxing, specifically kickboxing, American kickboxing, getting recruited by a team, getting put out there, how good you have to be before your name even comes up in a conversation
on a marquee or something, right?
Yeah, like, but at any rate, so yes, I do watch things that you send me. I enjoy the salty meme, and I was just bringing that.
That was funny.
Did you just do a back salty? Like, this is how I feel about your superhero.
I don't like the genre, man. I never have either, and I can never get into it. I've tried on many occasions. I can never get into it.
That's the allure of recommending things to you. What if I'm the guy that gets you to like one thing?
That's the same thing where girls like, man, I'm gonna fix that guy. I'm gonna fix him.
No.
It's the same shit. It's literally the same thing.
Ladies, listen. Hold on, I'm trained in this. Let me speak to the audience right now. Ladies, you're not going to fix him. I was talking to someone else about this today. He's not going to change.
No, there's no reason to.
He's never going to get a job. It wasn't the boss's fault that he got fired. It isn't that he's misunderstood. He didn't have a hard run of it. It's, he's an asshole. And you need to leave now. Getting your buddy to enjoy one superhero movie in his life is not the same as some poor woman being stuck to Chad.
It's the same shit because you're gonna keep trying, and I'm just not gonna like it. It's just gonna get
Joker. So typically,
but it's cinema. That's cinema. That's not a fucking superhero. I know. I liked the phrasing, so I would have used it. That wasn't a superhero.
I'm sorry, the word is pronounced chinema, and you're gonna say it.
Yes, it is the chinima, and.
But this is the last thing I'm going to say about The Boys. I can understand why people are going to jump ship, though, in season 2, because after a while, it's a slow burn to the point where it feels like repetition. Like, so, all right, we're well into it. We know they're jackasses. We know they're evil. They do heinous things. They've created supervillains and antagonists for themselves. We're going to get to see the inner workings of evil corporations, things that we've already been exposed to on television. True. I think what's going to keep people around for this one is how can it all end? Which is usually a good thing for a show like this. That's what kept people around for Breaking Bad, in my estimation, in my opinion.
Game of Thrones.
It's like Game of Thrones, same thing. It's but Breaking Bad, I think Game of Thrones. I think Breaking Bad is better because people started to jump ship on that show. When I say people, are very few amount of people. Like season 3, they were just talking about, oh, it's kind of monotonous. What's going on.
Man, I gotta finish Breaking Bad. I really do. I thought season 3 was good. That's when you get introduced to Gus. That's when you get introduced to a lot of the different plot lines of what's actually happening behind the scenes.
But I don't think people spend enough time considering the character. Like in their mind, it's just about Walt going down the drain, right?
Sure.
But you can see that there are other things going peripherally. And it isn't so much that he's going down. It's literally the name of the show. You're watching him go to the next level of his evolution as a villain. Let's call him what he was. Walt was the perfect villain because you felt bad for him. You got to watch him go on this journey, but it was early on in the show, you saw that he had the propensity and the capacity to kill. Like
within the first season or something, I think he killed someone, right?
Yeah.
Is it season 2 that he like blows up the guy's fucking compound, or is that season 1?
I think that's season 1. I'm pretty sure he blows up a drug dealer's thing, but he also remember they had that one guy chained up for a little while, and he had to make up his mind if he was going to kill him.
And he finally fucking kills him. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Very good show.
He lets the guy's girlfriend die next to him. That was a brutal scene. Yeah. There's a lot of things.
He paid for all those guys to get killed in prison by the Nazis.
That I haven't gotten to yet.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen. It's not a real thing. It's not.
The worst kind of person, huh? The absolute worst kind of fucking person.
It's not a spoiler 6 years later.
Well, but it's a spoiler if I'm watching it and haven't seen it. That's a spoiler.
I thought your reaction was, it's a spoiler to me. You scream, hang up the show.
No, I couldn't care that much, but it's a 6-year-old show. If I haven't watched it by now, I guess I deserve to get it spoiled, but
so that's the thing that I think people are going to jump ship early on the Boys, and they're going to have to really work hard to keep the audience in because we are headed for superhero fatigue, right? I think Marvel knows that for sure, and that's why they're pacing back on some of the movies and COVID since they introduced it. But we'll see how.
Did you just claim that Disney made COVID? Holy shit, that goes deep. That goes deep.
Did you like how I slid that? It was just like perfect.
It ain't gonna slide by me, but.
Speaking of dumpster fires and COVID and all these things. Zach is not in agreement with me on this at all, ladies and gentlemen. But I think from a comedy standpoint, there is no way it can be anything other but comedy. And I mean comedy like crying and pain, actually. The presidential debates. So let me tell you how I came to this, right? You texted me, hey, big guy, I hope you have some topics, right? And
then you went scouring the internet for the depths of the bottoms of the barnacles that are on the bottom of the fucking submarine.
Did you say barnacles?
Yeah. Shit that grows on boats, dog. Yeah. This is a barnacle. This is a barnacle topic to me.
We're getting nautical up in here, folks. No.
We're traveling at 7 knots right now.
That is definitely inside boat talk right there. If you don't know, knots are a measurement of speed, or is it miles? What is it exactly?
It's speed on the water, yeah. And knots are actually used for air travel, I believe, as well.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm. I think it's non-land based travel uses knots.
Side note: never been on a boat that has need for sail my entire life. Been on the Staten Island ferry. Been on a cruise. Never been on a small boat. Want to do it?
Some sailboats are big too, right? You can have yachts that are sailboats that are 40, 50 feet long.
Who's inviting me on their yacht?
Come on, I'm not. Please don't invite me either. I'll have to respectfully decline. Boats are fucking stupid.
Zach has a lot of strong opinions.
Listen, boats. You know what boat stands for? Is break out another 1,000. Because they're expensive fucking thing. Actually, hold on. Let's be fair. I don't want to be the guy who owns a boat, but I'd be friends with someone who owned a boat. Like if you were to buy a boat, I'd be supportive of you buying a boat.
After you'd be on that boat.
I don't know for how long. I feel like if you bring me out in a boat, there's something bad gonna happen. One of us, we're gonna start anyway. We're on political talk now, not boat talk.
Listen to me. Listen. So this is how this whole thing came about, right? I was looking at your text and I was laying in bed, just relaxing, and I was awash with fear because as you sent me the text, I saw that people were already talking about what these debates are going to be, and I stopped looking at it, right? And I thought to myself, in my spirit, I saw two feeble old men,
sure,
making the walkout,
both like senile old racist men, sure,
making the walkout. Like they traditionally do at the debates. They're going to stop.
And Trump doing that weird half centaur stand.
Yes. They're going to. Now, this is the way it should go. They should shake hands, make their way to the podiums. And the moderator will say, hey, this is what we're going to be going over tonight. Are you guys ready for the president debates? And it's like an air of classiness and respectability for the station that they're going. But what's actually going to happen is, right, Trump isn't going to answer any question.
Nope.
That's thrown at him. He's not going to. So here's one interesting thing. I don't know if this is true. They're actually thinking about, for the first time ever, introducing fact checkers.
Live fact checkers would be the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, because the entire time Trump would be like, yeah, see, we got the most jobs we've ever had. And the guy's like, Mr. President, that's just factually incorrect. We have 30 million unemployed right now. Yeah, but those people are losers. And then be like, sir, you can't call these people losers. I didn't call them losers. Play the tape back. I never said they were losers. No, I never said the dead soldiers were losers, right? Okay, I just said that I don't like my people to get caught. And he's doing this motion with his fucking hands, and his hands are always like this. I don't know. Dude, I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it. And Biden's not going to be any better, right? I give Trump a lot of shit. I can't do a Biden accent. He's not going to be any better, dude. He does that old guy, he's not going to be any better. He's going to be up there trying to spew facts, but then he's going to go off cue and start talking about children and leg hairs. So I think both, it's going to be a shit show. And what's not funny about it is it's the next leader of our country for next 4 years, right? And it becomes not funny at some point. It becomes scary.
No, just listen. It's always funny. It's always funny just the way the Joker said it. It's always funny. You just watch people get what they deserve. You're getting what you deserve. Here's how you're getting what you deserve, right? If you believe a man who says that he restored the economy, and you know full well he inherited a healthy economy on the upswing, right? So we know that. We know that that's factually true. But you don't want to believe it. He panders to you as his base. You believe what he says. You get what you deserve with whatever comes next. Now, here's the thing with Biden, right? This is where it's going to be really sad. I agree with you 100%. that he's going to try to stay on cue. If he pulls it off the first one,
he's going to get roasted.
Yes. If he pulls it off the first debate, he's not going to be able to pull off the second one. What I am more scared of in this instance, and this is an actual fear, so this is where my anxiety comes from. It's not internally within the country, right? It's from how externally other countries will be looking at this new perceived weakness of
like, what I've been saying this entire presidency is the president's a statesman. He's not supposed to be a political head, right? He's supposed to be a statesman. He's supposed to represent our country to the highest of their ability, and I think currently either candidate does that poorly.
Extremely poorly. So that's why I want to throw a third-party choice out there for you. Talking with a dad, folks. This is it.
You're the only one here old enough to run. I don't think I'm even old enough to run as a VP. Is there an age limit? Is there an age limit on the VP?
No. I have the perfect spot for you. You're gonna be my guy, the guy that stands behind me, and everyone's like, "Well, who's that guy?" I'm like, "Don't worry about that guy." But this is a confidential briefing. I'm like, again, don't worry about that.
Don't fucking worry. What I don't want to be is I don't want to be the press secretary. I don't want to be that job.
You would be great at that, coming out reading the riot act to the CNN people. like sit down, shut up, and get ready for some facts.
No, it would be awful. It'd be an awful position, dude.
You don't like the little blonde lady that comes out there and just does
she's leaving, I think. She's leaving.
Is she?
I think so.
No, you're thinking of Kellyanne Conway.
They're all the same people to me. What I want to be is what's the Secretary of the Interior? I want to be that guy. I want to be putting up new curtains and shit. I want to be like, that couch should be red, not black. But wait a second, no, you're supposed to be controlling the United States economy. I'm like, no, interior design. Look, who's controlling the economy right now?
I'm telling you, could you imagine being in the White House, man? Like just having access to those cooks at any point in the day?
Oh, listen, I would kick him out of the kitchen, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to cook my own meal, sir. Excuse me.
No, you can't.
Get out.
You can't do that. They're like, president doesn't do anything for himself.
Well, I'm not the president. I'm the fucking Secretary of the Interior. I don't even get to stay in the White House.
That's a good point. What are you doing in my house at 2:00 in the morning, kicking cooks out there?
I was hungry. What was I supposed to do?
You know what's going to even be more of a dumpster fire? Mike Pence versus Kamala Harris. So this is literally for some people going to be like their parents who have gotten divorced meeting for the first time.
Yeah, they're cut from the same cloth for sure. They probably agree on more of the issues than they disagree on. Let's be fair.
Well, they're corporatists. He's a neoconservative. She's a corporatist. They
agree on more things than they'd be willing to admit to each other. And probably, I don't even care. I think she's a clown just as much as he's a clown. I don't like either VP at the moment. I don't know. I think it's all going to be a shit show, and I don't like that in my political discourse.
Oh, I do. Here at the end of the world, folks, you can trust the fact that I'm going to be laughing up until the point where they show up to my house to get me, because I've said too many things publicly about both parties for it not to be reacted to at this point. I also think it's going to be interesting because we're looking at the moderator who's supposed to be a non-biased party, and just help keep the debate at the level it's supposed to be handled at, and stay on topic and make sure people aren't going into ad hominem and stuff. But it's going to be some jamoke from CNN for sure, CNN or NBC, and it's just like
the first thing Trump's going to say is, "Well, I don't even want to speak to you," right? And that's going to discredit anything the moderator says. Biden really has to come out and fucking literally has to like roast Trump the entire time, right? He would have to like say some crazy shit. Because then, like, if you say something too crazy to Trump, he's not gonna have an answer for it. He's not a very smart person, right?
Who, Trump?
Yes.
No. So he's quick. He's quick with the barbs, but he can't respond.
They're all like third grade level. You go to a high school like that, he would get fucking torn apart in a high school. Like with the amount of like witty comebacks and low blow. Like, no, I think he's very low shit talker. I would out shit talk him for sure. I would make him want to like not be there anymore. And that's what I think Biden has to do. Biden has to go out there and make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's hard to make a bottom feeder uncomfortable though, especially.
I know. You really have to shove him down. You literally Biden's have to come out and be like, "Hey, it's the Biden show versus the fucking centaur looking dude." Everyone's gonna be like, "What?" Everyone's like Googling centaurs and not gonna realize the next 10 minutes of the conversation. Like, holy shit! Look at him from the side. Oh, and you cut the centaur. Oh my god!
I think there's only one thing that really gets under Trump's skin is when people close to him reveal the truth about him. Like when his niece wrote that book, other people have written books about him, but when she wrote the book specifically,
He was hurt.
yeah, it got underneath his skin because she's like,
oh my god! If I was buying, I'd come out carrying a copy of the book. I would just read chapter, but I would filibuster the fuck out of it. Absolutely.
Oh man, you know it's crazy because I want to form an intelligent thought about this stuff, right? And then every time I try to, like, I can form a more intelligent thought about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich I wish I could eat right now than I can the state of the politics. And I'm not bringing it up to depress anyone. I'm just saying that, like, I get the same. You're always depressed. I get the same feeling that watching the Flat Gang video because I do watch
Flat Gang, flat top of the hat.
I get that same feeling when I watch Trump. I'm like, is this guy like is he a real? I just want to touch him. You know how people try to touch black people's hair? I want to touch Trump.
Is that a thing?
To see if he's like, oh, it's a real thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many bars I've been in. I just seen like a hand come out. I'm like, what's happening right now? Like,
yeah, I've never experienced that.
Zach, you're cut from a different cloth. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how you would react to real racism if it like happened like around you. Just like, I'm just gonna take my crab cakes and
I fuck crab cakes super heavily.
There's never enough. At any social gathering, there's never enough crab cakes.
And then, like, when you get a crab cake sandwich, those are really... hold on. That would be way too fucking inside baseball. But you get, like, a crab cake sandwich, and, like, dude, I'd fucking murder someone right now for one of those.
You'd name one event you've ever been to where there's been enough crab cakes and deviled eggs. It's like they get together and they're like, don't...
all of the deviled eggs that you want, dude. All of them. But no, you show up to an event, and like you have to be the first person in line to get one of the 12 crab cakes. And like by the time you get the cold one, maybe the one that like everyone poked a little bit. It's too hard.
I'm eating that one too.
Oh, me too.
Here's the thing. I'm not feeling ashamed. I'm usually the guy who doesn't want to be seen going up to the buffet or, up multiple times. If there are crab cakes, I'm knocking the freaking fried over.
I don't have an issue with how many times I go up to the buffet. I don't want to be the first guy. In any gathering, they're like, hey, food's ready. I'm never the first person. I don't know if you've noticed this, right? Yeah, I've been at your house. Everyone's like, hey, food's ready. I let everyone get up first. I don't want to be that guy, but I will go back for fourths and fifths. I don't care. And I'll pile the fifth plate just as high as I piled the first plate.
Are you a joke teller when you're getting like fifth plates? Like if people are looking at you, like do you tell a joke to ease it in, or do you just grab the plate?
By that point, I'm feral. And that no one wants to be around. I'm making noises. I'm grunting at people. If there's someone in front of me, I'm gonna sniff them.
I went to a wedding with my wife and her mom's boyfriend. Most gangster move I've ever seen. They were having the wedding catered by like some Hawaiian restaurant. Everything leading up to this was amazing. Yeah, their reception, the wedding rehearsal, dinner was great, man. Sure. It was ribs, chicken. It was amazing. But there's a thing about Hawaiian food, right? It's got to be served fresh.
Yes.
You got to eat that stuff hot, right?
Like a good pig roast. You got to have that shit hot. Yeah.
He got his plate, and not only did they give him a small portion. Now this is a 70-year-old Italian man. They gave him a small portion of food, and it was cold. He's like, I think this was probably the loudest part of the wedding. He's like, "This is horrible. Look at the size of this. Look at this meat. This is horrible." And I'm just
that's awesome.
I'm like, so we're at a wedding. It was pretty bad though. It's all bad. Listen, man, it's all bad. It's all bad. Politics are bad, man. Avengers is good. Boys season 2 is going to be good. Tarkov tournament was good.
Very good. What's also good isn't it? I wanted to speak about this in the beginning of the episode, and I might have to cut it and put it into the front of the episode.
No, you say it right now.
We're going to be re-releasing the 3 interviews that we have done so far 4 interviews actually. We had Cash on as well. We're going to be re-releasing those for the audio listeners. If you guys made it this far, we're sorry. I really want to say this in the beginning of the episode. And I want to say it at the beginning of the last episode too, so I'm just an idiot. Coming out every Wednesday for the next 4 weeks. You'll be getting a 3rd episode weekly of the Talking with a Dad podcast. And it'll be old episodes and there'll be old topics in it. But, you guys, I think it's some of the best content we've done. So you're going to enjoy it for sure.
How's your Twitter life going, man?
Twitter life? I don't know. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, I think you're getting kind of soft in your old age, man. Maybe you've been in the house too long. You used to really go at it on Twitter. Now you're just like...
I dude, you say that, and like very few times I've actually done that. Maybe twice ever.
I can count in my head at least 4 times where you've come to work at the school, and I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, just roasting this idiot on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it has happened a few times, but it's...
Everything about your character screams that you're that person. Don't fight it any longer.
I don't know. I fucking can't be bothered, dude. I just don't have enough time in my day to do that.
It's the best part of my day, man. And I want you to join me on the dark side. I literally go through my Facebook feed, which I know is for boomers. I'll save you the time. And I go through it and I just look for people to be incorrect. And I'm just laying in wait. I'm the old contrary.
The thing with the internet, arguing on the internet, is that no one will ever concede their point, right? Even if they were factually incorrect, it's just like they choose to believe something else. They're like, I'm just going to be an idiot.
So here's the thing. I will concede on Facebook. You hit me with a screenshot of something that I've said that's incorrect, I have to do it. You know why? Because I don't want to be that guy arguing with...
But you're not an internet person, right?
I am an internet person. I know how to use the internet.
Like, I get that. I get that you know how to use the internet, but you're not like one of these internet people that like... That's all that they have to do with their life. You have things outside of the internet. You know what's weird when people say they affect a positive change, and I'm like, oh, what do you do? Like volunteer and stuff? They're like, no, but I do a lot of work on the internet. I tweet about the injustices going on in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an influencer.
Yeah, they're like, some guy just got his head chopped off in Saudi Arabia for telling the truth about the regime over there. But
whoa, we won't talk about that. We won't talk about the Muslims that the Chinese are rounding up and cutting their hair and murdering. We won't talk about the
wait, you mean the Chinese that the Muslims at the Chinese? You said Chinese are rounding up, right?
I just said everything I said was correct.
That's nuts, by the way.
No, crazy. We won't talk about the children that we found in Georgia locked up in a trailer that were all missing. We won't do those things. But Black Lives Matter, Free Lebanon, and the fucking the Russian guy that just got murdered. All of those. Oh, and the Iranian wrestler that they threatened to execute. That Donald Trump fucking tweeted about because of Dana White.
Yeah.
So,
the kids that got snatched up in Georgia.
I don't know anything about the story other than that they found a bunch.
Yeah,
which is a huge relief. Like 80 kids or something is a huge relief.
Yeah, and it's crazy because as a parent, like, you see the face of your kids, like, and how they would be in this situation. But I just want to send my praise to those agents.
Sure.
Yeah, I just also want to point this out. You defund the police. Well, these were federal agents. They're in no threat of being defunded, but they did rely on local intel to do this type of stuff. So when you talk about defunding the police, that's something that's going to be off the table right there is intel gatherings, teams and stuff like that. Special teams, I believe they're called. And
task forces.
Have you ever watched The Shield before?
No.
That is a show you would absolutely love.
The Shield. What is The Shield?
Huh? The Shield is about these cops in LA that start off, they're just kind of like doing whatever to get over.
Is it like The Wire?
It's a little bit like The Wire, except for this team is cohesively the most crooked I've ever seen any cops like ever.
I could dig that for sure.
There is not a drug dealer that is safe from these guys. Like, if I can find the box set, I'm gonna give it to you, man. But
I don't have anything to play it on. Stop trying to give me DVDs. Just send me to where I can stream it, dude. Is it on HBO? I have HBO.
I'll drop the box set over to you.
Okay, yeah, all right, I appreciate that. And the VHS player while you're at it.
Do you have videos you want to watch? I have a VHS player.
I think we might too, honestly.
No, I'm excited about re-releasing the interviews. By the way, I'm really excited about it. Yeah. It's because I think it is some of our greatest work. Like we have great conversations with each other. We have a lot of fun, but it was really fun to do those interviews. I'm looking forward to the next round. I don't know who we're gonna interview next though. Who can we interview?
Well, I mean, EK came out with his the Dragon Age stuff, right? So I guess we could get him back on and talk about it. I think that's what he was alluding to on the episode that are probably going to be released very shortly. Actually, his might go first. I might release him in the order that we did them.
Yeah.
So him, Desi, Fat Mantis, and then Cash. So I guess we're going to do it.
We feel comfortable putting Fat Mantis out there where people can consume his madness.
As long as they don't know that he's linked to me, then we're okay.
What about the picture I put up on Twitter of you two embracing each other? I had to superimpose it.
Never happen. I don't like embracing anybody, to be fair. Not because it's Mantis. I would enjoy Mantis's company. I would have a drink with him, but I'm not gonna like hug the man.
Oh man, remember when you can hang out with your friends?
I've never had friends, to be fair.
So this has been another episode of Talking with a Just leave while screaming. You know what? Before you go though, can you send me a link of the Tarkov tournament? Because that's something I would watch.
What perspective do you want? Do you want the winner's perspective? Because I don't think Pastilia has uploaded his perspective yet. Which is him. Okay, I'll send you. I think Landmark sent you the videos we're going up today.
Yeah,
it's 3 hours total, so be prepared.
Yeah, I usually watch an hour each night before I go to sleep.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I do the most of my research.
Right before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Just take us out of the show. I can't deal with this anymore.
Where it sticks. Wait. Before we sign out. No, you're not going anywhere. You look crazy without your glasses. When does Rogan come? Heroin Dan in the house.
All right.
When does Rogan come out on Spotify?
Started on the September 1st, exclusively on December 1st.
On December 1st. All right. I just want to make sure we keep an eye on that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Talking with a Dad. Steve and Heroin Dan, my new host. You know where to find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook, all Talking with a Dad. You can also check us out at our website, talkingwithadad.com. And if you're looking for the podcast, it's Talking with a Dad, all one word. Just Google it, and we'll come up in a plethora of different ways for you to consume the content. Have a good night.